Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about a spice that has absolutely exploded in popularity: turmeric. You see it everywhere, from lattes to supplements. But are we, actually getting the benefits we think we are? Let's get into it.
So let me ask you this. That turmeric supplement you take every morning, or that golden milk latte you love, is it really doing anything? Because there's a good chance you might be spending your money on benefits you're not actually getting. We're going to find out why.
So first, let's just step back for a second. Why all the hype? What is the big promise behind this golden spice that's taken the wellness world by storm? Okay, so here's the first thing you absolutely need to know. When people talk about the amazing health perks of turmeric, they're not really talking about the yellow powder itself. They're zeroing in on its active ingredient, a really powerful compound called curcumin. This is the real star of the show. It's the powerhouse doing all the heavy lifting. And believe me, the praise for curcumin isn't just talk. It's known as a powerful anti-inflammatory, and it's also a potent antioxidant. A lot of research points to it helping soothe joint pain, supporting brain health, and even improving heart health. I mean, that is quite the resume, right? But, and this is a really, really big but, for all of its amazing potential, curcumin has a major flaw. It's what scientists call the absorption problem, and it's the very reason why your turmeric habit might be a wasted wonder. To really get what's going on, we have to talk about a term called bioavailability. Now don't worry, it sounds complicated, but it's actually super simple. It just means how much of a substance your body can actually absorb and use. You see, it's not about what you eat, it's about what your body gets to keep. And this is where we hit the wall. A recent scientific review from 2023 lays it out perfectly. Basically, what they're saying is that curcumin on its own is almost impossible for our bodies to absorb. It doesn't dissolve well, it struggles to get through our gut, and our liver gets rid of it super fast. It's like our body is actively designed to kick it out before it can do any good.
The best way to picture it is like this. Imagine curcumin is this incredible treasure, but it's locked away in a super secure vault. You can have piles and piles of this treasure, but without the right key to open that door, it's completely useless to you. Most of that powerful curcumin just passes right through your system. A total waste.
Okay, so if curcumin is locked in a vault, where's the key? Well, here's the amazing part. Scientists found it, and it wasn't in some high-tech lab. It was hiding in plain sight right in our kitchen spice racks. And what they discovered was a total game changer. You're not going to believe how simple the solution is. The key is black pepper. More specifically, a compound inside it called piperine. And what piperine does is pretty clever. It essentially tells your liver to chill out, to stop breaking down and getting rid of the curcumin so quickly, giving your body a chance to actually absorb it. So how much of a difference does a little pepper make? Get ready for this number. 2,000%. No, that is not a typo. Adding just a tiny bit of black pepper can boost how much curcumin your body can use by a staggering 2,000%. It's just mind-blowing. And look, this isn't just some number we pulled out of thin air. It comes from a groundbreaking study way back in 1998. Researchers gave one group of people curcumin by itself, and another group got curcumin combined with piperine. The results were night and day, and so clear that they basically became the blueprint for every effective turmeric supplement you see today. But wait, there's one more piece to this puzzle. It turns out that curcumin is fat-soluble. All that means is it dissolves in fat, not water. So when you put it all together, the curcumin, the black pepper, and a source of healthy fat, you create this ultimate absorption power trio. It's the perfect combination to let your body finally use all that good stuff. All right, so we've got the science down, right? Turmeric's curcumin needs black pepper's piperine and some healthy fat. That's great to know, but what do you actually do with that information? How do you take this from the lab into your own life, your own kitchen?
Well, what's so fascinating is that this power trio isn't some new age biohack. It's actually ancient wisdom. It's the secret recipe at the very heart of a traditional Ayurvedic drink that's been around for centuries: golden milk.
And the best part is, you can make this right at home. It's so easy. You just warm up some milk, and that milk provides the healthy fat we were just talking about. Then you add your turmeric, maybe some other wonderful spices like cinnamon and ginger. But here's the most important part, the one thing you absolutely cannot forget. You have to whisk in a pinch of black pepper. That's the key, remember? That's what unlocks everything.
Okay, now before you run off to make a gallon of golden milk or buy the biggest bottle of turmeric supplements you can find, we need to talk about something really important. It's a fundamental rule in health and wellness. More is not always better. Look,
Sprinkling some turmeric on your food while you're cooking is widely considered very safe. But when you start concentrating it into high-dose supplements, that's a completely different ballgame, and it can come with some real risks you need to be aware of.
For example, there have been documented cases linking high-dose turmeric supplements to liver injury. And while its ability to lower blood sugar might sound good, it can actually be dangerous for people with certain conditions or for those on diabetes medication. It can also interact poorly with other drugs, like blood thinners. This is serious stuff.
So this brings me to the most important takeaway of this whole thing, and I really can't say this clearly enough. Please, always talk to your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional before you start taking any new supplement, and that includes curcumin. This is for informational purposes only, it is not medical advice. And that leaves us with a fascinating question to think about. On one hand, you have this ancient wisdom, like golden milk, that uses whole food ingredients working together in balance. On the other, you have these powerful, super concentrated modern supplements. Science shows us how to unlock turmeric's power, but it also shows us that going too far can have risks. So the question we leave you with is, in your own health journey, where do you draw the line?
All right, quick reset. Blink twice, stretch your shoulders, and don't worry, your health lesson isn't over yet. We're switching gears now, but this next topic is just as important for your body. And if you care about staying healthy the smart way, make sure you're subscribed.
Let me ask you, what's the most comforting spice in your kitchen cabinet? You know, for a lot of us, it's gotta be cinnamon. It's in our coffee, our oatmeal, all that holiday baking. It's just the smell of comfort. And for literally thousands of years, it's been loved not just for its taste, but for some pretty amazing health perks. And hey, this isn't just some old folktale. Science is actually backing this up in a big way. Modern research is showing that cinnamon can help with everything from keeping your blood sugar in check to giving you a huge hit of antioxidants. It's a legit superfood that has seriously stood the test of time. But this is where the story gets a little complicated. What if I told you that the trusted spice you sprinkle on everything, maybe without a second thought, isn't exactly what you think it is? What if it's hiding a secret that could be affecting your health in a way you'd never ever expect? And that gets us right to the heart of the matter. It's a simple fact that might just change how you look at that spice jar forever. The truth is, not all cinnamon is the same, not even close. In fact, there are two totally different plants that both get ground up and put into bottles labeled cinnamon. So here's the bombshell. The vast majority of cinnamon sold right here in the United States, we're talking over 90% of it, is a type called Cassia. And you want to know the craziest part? The regulations don't require companies to tell you which one you're getting. They can both just say cinnamon on the label. Okay, so let's break down the differences, because they are huge. On one side, you've got Ceylon, which people call true cinnamon. It's kind of delicate, sweet. On the other side is that common Cassia. It's strong, it's spicy. They look different, they taste different, but the biggest difference, the one that really, really matters for your health, is hiding right there in that last row, a little compound called coumarin. Coumarin, that's the word of the day. So why does this one little compound matter so much? Well, this is where a simple story about a spice turns into a pretty serious health conversation. So what is this stuff? Coumarin is a natural compound that actually helps give cinnamon that amazing smell we all love. In tiny amounts, no big deal. But the research is really clear on this. In high doses, especially if you're consuming it regularly, it can actually be toxic to your liver. Now, European food safety authorities have looked at this really closely, and they set what's called a tolerable daily intake, or a TDI, for coumarin. That safe upper limit is just 0.1 milligrams for every kilogram of your body weight. For the average person, that is a tiny, tiny amount, and it is shockingly easy to go over that limit without even knowing it. Okay, let's put this in perspective. Are you ready for this? A single teaspoon, just one, of that common Cassia cinnamon can pack around 26 milligrams of coumarin. For a 150-pound person, that's almost 4 times the recommended safe daily limit in just one spoonful. This chart really just says it all. Look at Ceylon Cinnamon. It has a practically non-existent amount of coumarin, like 0.004%. But Cassia, it can have up to 1%. That means Cassia can have 250 times more coumarin than Ceylon. That is a staggering difference. It's not even in the same ballpark. So what does this actually mean for you? Well, if you're someone who loves a daily sprinkle of cinnamon on your oatmeal or in your coffee, this could really add up over time. Regular high intake of coumarin from Cassia has been linked to potential liver damage. It can also have some dangerous interactions with common medications like blood thinners or statins, and it can make existing liver conditions worse. Okay. I know that all sounds a bit concerning. But here comes the good part. This is where you get empowered. Because once you know what you're looking for, it's actually pretty simple to tell these two spices apart and make the safer choice. You can literally use your own senses to figure this out. True Ceylon has this delicate, almost floral sweetness to it. Cassia, on the other hand, just hits you with that strong, spicy, almost peppery flavor. Even the color is a dead giveaway. Ceylon is a light, warm tan color, while Cassia is a much darker reddish brown. And if you look at the whole sticks, it's night and day. Ceylon is made of all these thin, papery, fragile layers rolled up together, almost like a little cigar. You could probably crumble it between your fingers. But Cassia, that's a single, thick, woody piece of bark rolled into a hollow tube. It's tough as nails and hard to break. Now, for ground cinnamon, it's a little trickier, I'll admit, but this is where you become a label detective. You gotta look past the brand name and check the ingredients for the scientific name. If you see Cinnamomum verum, you hit the jackpot. Verum literally means true in Latin. If it doesn't say, you have to assume it's almost certainly the high coumarin cassia. So now you have all the intel. Let's pull this all together into a really simple, actionable strategy you can start using today so you can enjoy all the amazing benefits of cinnamon safely. Here's your 4-step plan. Super simple. Number 1, for anything you're eating every single day, make Ceylon your go-to. Number 2, this doesn't mean you have to throw out your cassia, just use it sparingly for that occasional batch of cookies where you really want that strong, spicy kick. 3, if you can, buy the whole sticks. It's the most foolproof way to see what you're getting. And finally, number 4, if you have any health conditions or you're on specific medications, a quick chat with your doctor is always the smartest move. And of course, it's so important that we're all on the same page here. This information is for educational purposes. It's not a substitute for professional medical advice. You should always talk to a healthcare professional for any personal advice or before you make big changes to your diet, especially if you have a health condition. So, the next time you reach into that spice cabinet, you're gonna see that little bottle in a whole new light. You now have the knowledge to look past the label and make a conscious, informed choice for your own health. The power is completely in your hands. So the only question left is, which cinnamon will you choose?
All right, quick reset. Blink twice, stretch your shoulders, and don't worry, your health lesson isn't over yet. We're switching gears now, but this next topic is just as important for your body. And if you care about staying healthy the smart way, make sure you're subscribed.
Let's talk about garlic. I mean, who doesn't love it? It's the foundation of so many incredible dishes all over the world. But what if I told you that you've probably been preparing it wrong your whole life? That there's a simple secret, a little 10-minute trick that unlocks its true health potential? So let me ask you this, and just think about it for a second. Is the way you cook actually destroying the very health benefits you're hoping to get from your food? When it comes to garlic, the answer might be a little unsettling. And here's the crazy part. We all know garlic is this amazing superfood, especially for heart health, right? But there's this one common mistake, something almost all of us do in the kitchen, that can completely wipe out its most powerful compound before it even gets to your plate. To really get what's going on, we need to dive into a little bit of chemistry. It all boils down to a single, powerful, but really fragile compound called allicin. And the best way to think about it is like a 2-part epoxy. Okay, so check this out. Inside an intact whole garlic clove, nature has done something brilliant. It stored 2 key ingredients in totally separate compartments. On one side, you've got a stable amino acid called allicin, and in another little compartment, there's a sensitive enzyme called alliinase. As long as that clove is whole, they just hang out, never touching. And this is the absolute key to everything. Allicin, the superstar compound we're really after, it doesn't actually exist in whole garlic. It's only created in that moment you damage the clove, when you chop it, crush it, or press it. That's when olein and olein passe finally get to mix and react. You know that amazing, pungent smell of freshly chopped garlic? That's the smell of allicin being born. And that's why the 2-part epoxy analogy is just perfect. Think about it. By themselves, the 2 tubes are just kinda useless goo. But the second you mix them together, boom, you create this incredibly strong, powerful bond. It's the exact same principle inside a clove of garlic. Separately, they're inert. Together, they create the magic. Right, so if creating allicin is just a matter of crushing garlic, where are we all going so wrong? Well, the mistake, the one that sabotages the whole beautiful process, happens in the first few seconds after we chop it. Seriously, just picture your normal cooking routine. You chop the garlic, the oil in the pan is shimmering hot, and you toss it right in, right? It's what we see on TV, it's what we all do. But that single action is where the science falls apart.
And here's the simple reason why. That enzyme, alliinase, the one that's essential for the reaction, it is incredibly delicate. It hates heat. At just 60 degrees Celsius, which is only 140 Fahrenheit, it gets destroyed instantly. And let's be honest, your hot pan is way, way hotter than that.
Let me put this as plainly as I can. If you throw that garlic into heat too quickly, you kill the enzyme before it has a chance to mix with the allicin. The epoxy never combines. And if the reaction never happens, you get zero allicin. Zip, nada. All of that amazing potential health benefit is just gone. Okay, I know, but don't worry. We've found the problem, but the solution, it is so simple. It doesn't cost a thing, and it's something you can start doing tonight. It's called the 10-minute rule. It's just 3 steps. That's it. Step 1, you crush or chop your garlic, just like you always do. That starts the chemical reaction. Step 2, and this is the game changer, you just wait. Let that chopped garlic sit on your cutting board for a full 10 minutes. Then step 3, you can cook with it however you want. Sauté it, roast it, whatever. So what's the magic in that 10-minute pause? Well, it's basically a grace period. You're giving that alliinase enzyme enough time to do its job, to find the allicin and convert as much of it as possible into allicin. Once that allicin is actually created, it's much more stable against heat. You're essentially locking in the benefits before the heat has a chance to ruin everything. All right, so now that you're a pro with fresh garlic, let's broaden the conversation a bit. Because not all garlic is created equal. The form you use, whether it's fresh or a powder or even a supplement, it really changes the kind of benefits you can expect to get. This chart lays it all out perfectly. Fresh garlic, when you follow our 10-minute rule, is your absolute best source for allicin, great for daily cooking. But then you have something like aged garlic extract, or AGE. Its power comes from a totally different compound, S-allylcysteine, or SAC, which is amazing for long-term heart support. Garlic powder, good for convenience, but you're getting a lot less allicin. And that jarred, pre-minced garlic, let's be real, that's for convenience only. The enzyme is long gone, so there's basically no allicin potential. I really want to zoom in on aged garlic extract for a second, because it's a whole different ballgame. This isn't about allicin. Through a long aging process, the chemistry of the garlic is transformed, creating this super stable and very absorbable compound called S-allylcysteine. It's a completely different mechanism of action. And look, the research on this stuff is pretty incredible. One key study found that taking aged garlic extract every day slowed down the buildup of dangerous soft plaque in the arteries by a staggering 80% over a year. That is a massive targeted benefit you just aren't going to get from the allicin in your cooking. Okay, but what about blood pressure? A lot of people talk about garlic for that. Well, the research shows that garlic supplements can have a real, modest, but significant effect. We're talking reductions of about 5 to 10 points on the top number, your systolic, and around 3 points on the bottom number. Now, this isn't going to replace medication, but it's for sure a powerful supporting tool. And the how behind this is pretty complex, as you can see from this diagram. It's not just one thing. These compounds, like SAC from aged garlic, work on multiple pathways. They help the body produce things like nitric oxide, which tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. That process is called vasodilation, and it's key to lowering overall pressure.
All right, that was a lot of science, I know. We went from kitchen chemistry all the way to clinical trials. So let's pull it all together into a super simple guide you can use right away. So here's what you absolutely need to remember. First, for allicin, you have to use fresh crushed garlic. Second, that 10-minute waiting period is non-negotiable if you're going to apply heat. Third, remember that jarred stuff just won't cut it. And finally, if you have a very specific goal like plaque reduction, you have to match the form of garlic to that goal. In that case, aged garlic extract is what the evidence points to. Look, if all of that science just went in one ear and out the other, I get it. Just remember this one simple mantra for your everyday cooking. It's this: crush, wait 10, then cook. That's it. It's that easy. It's pretty wild, right?
This incredibly powerful secret was just hiding in one of the most common ingredients we use every single day. It really makes you wonder, what other simple tricks, what other little bits of science are hiding in plain sight right there in our own kitchens? And of course, I have to end with this important reminder. This information is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice. Please always talk to a qualified healthcare professional before making any big changes to your diet or your health routine.
Thank you for your time. Subscribe for more health education. Like the video and share it to help others stay informed.